Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, it's Mr. Royak. Hopefully you're having a great day today. As you can see, I'm not with you, and some of you I know are probably happy about that. Today, though, we need to devote our time and attention to be ready for tomorrow's test. This is one of the toughest chapters we're going to do in intermediate algebra. And again, I'm gone the day before, so you can make excuses, or as a class, we can move on and get better with what we're doing. And so what I'm going to ask you now is grab a whiteboard and a marker, and if you could and would, I'm going to have you try some of these questions up here. We're going to do a few of these together. I'm going to have you try them. The sub's going to pause the video. I want you to work on your whiteboard and with your partners that you're next to you and focus on the question, and then I can go through and share what the answer is in some of the work so you can see what it is. These are much like the questions I'm going to ask you to do tomorrow on the test. So, if the sub wants to pause the video, please do so, but we're going to go through some of these questions together, and then I'm going to give you some time to work on the review, which again is very much like the test as well, so you have no excuses not to be prepared for our test. So I assume right now everyone has tried this question. Domain, find the domain. That's just asking me to find what x values can I plug into it. Now, if you remember, what we always said was I can plug anything into it, so my answer is going to be all reals except what? And what we look at is what makes my denominator 0, because I can never divide by 0. So I don't care about the numerator. I don't care about that. I need to figure out what makes that 0. So this goes back to, can I factor this down? And if I factor it down, you're going to find that I get x. I got to think now in my mind here, probably 6 and 2. Ways to get 12, but then add to be 4, and I want a positive 6 and a negative 2. So my two answers are, what makes this 0 is if x equals negative 6. What makes this 0 is if x equals 2. And so my answer is going to be everything except x cannot equal negative 6 and x cannot equal 2. Hopefully some of you remember that, and some of us have that down, but we can plug anything in except for negative 6 and 2. Moving on. New question. The next thing we did in this chapter is we just simplified. So write this down, and I just want to know, can I simplify this? So again, if the sub wants to pause the video, it'd be awesome. So if you want to simplify this, the bottom I can't do anything with, that is what it is, x plus 6, but the numerator up on top, this is a difference of squares. So if you remember that, how to factor that, it's x minus 6, x plus 6. So what happens if I want to simplify this? Good. What am I left with? So this simplifies into just x minus 6. So when you have to simplify again, the rules of the game are factor, then cross out like factors. So sorry, cross out. I can spell like factors. So that simplifying, that's the name of the game. Moving on. Again, the sub could give them time to, everyone try this. And again, I know some of you right now, I'm guessing, maybe aren't giving our full effort. That's disappointing because this is your chance to get better at it. And so write it down, try it. Use the same process here. Can you factor the top, factor the bottom, and then see what cancels out? So pause the video, let them try it. Okay, we've all tried it. Let's take a look and see what we end up with. The top, if you want to factor the top, this is going to factor into two things that multiply to be 6, but add to be 5, or subtract to be 5. You could do now 2 and 3, but if I do 2 and 3, I'd have to add them together to get 5, and I can't have both be positive because of this negative right here. So the other option is 6 and 1. So I need to use 6 and 1 where I need a positive 6 and a negative 1 to get my positive 5. Now the bottom, again, you can be kind of, you can be prudent about what you use for factors here because you know you more than likely want to cancel out one of those on top. So ways to get 12 that add to be 4, 3 and 4, 2 and 6, 1 and 12. Of those, though, which one matches up with maybe using something with a 6 in it? I might try 2 and 6. And to get a positive 4, I want a positive 6 and a negative 2. And if those are my factors, which I'm guessing some of us had this, these are going to cancel out, and my final answer is going to be x minus 1 over x minus 2. So simplifying tomorrow on the test, again, something we need to be able to do. Keep rolling here. Fourth question. Take a moment, write it down. Now we want to divide. And again, I'll ask it when I see division tomorrow on the test, I need to make this into a multiplication problem. So step 1, multiplication. This is going to be 18 x squared y to the 4th x times z to the 5th times, but now we have to skip, flip, multiply. So now this is now my denominator is now on top. If I flip it, and my numerator is in my denominator. I hope everyone's tried it. If not, again, pause the video, let them try. What should happen here is I want to cancel things out. So if I look at my numbers, this 2 would reduce my 18 to be a 9. So I get a 9 there. If I look at x's, I could say x squared here is the same as x squared there. So those go completely out. This is x to the 1st here, so I could cancel it out with one of these x's here, so that would leave me with x to the 3rd. And then as my z's here, we could do, actually my y's, I could take all these y's out with all those y's, so those cross all the way out. And then my z's then, if I have 5 z's on the bottom, if I take 5 z's out of the top, that leaves me with 5 z's there. So what's left standing here is, on top we have a 9, we have x to the 3rd, we have z to the 5th, and on the bottom it looks like everything crossed out, so 9, x to the 3rd, z to the 5th would be my answer. So I'm canceling out things that are the same likeness between the top and the bottom. More here, more. We did a lot of questions like this where just multiplying here. So write it down again and take some time and see if you can solve it. As you see, this first factor and the one below it, they don't factor at all. These are what they are, so that's not doing any work. It's the second one over here. The top is what I need to factor, and the bottom is what I need to factor. So if I factor the top, I'm going to have an x plus 4 and an x minus 1. The bottom one, you should have two things that multiply to be 8. They give me 6. I'm going to have a plus 4 and a plus 2. Now if I can do all of this and get this far, then now the easy part again, when I multiply, same with division, I can just cancel things out that are the same. So you should see that x plus 4s go away. X minus 1s go away. Whoa! Take a look at this. These go away. So this is kind of odd. What's left? Again, if everything goes away, it's like you're reducing on top and bottom. You'd actually end up with 1 on top and 1 on the bottom. So your answer should just be a value of 1 because you're reducing these down to 1 over 1. So that doesn't always happen. That's kind of a unique problem, but those all cancel out, and I get just a 1 for an answer. Let's do some more. What about subtraction? When I add and subtract fractions, again, the key is I need to get common denominators. Good. So write it down, try it, see if you can get common denominators, and see how this simplifies. All right, assuming we already tried these common denominators, my common denominator between both of these, since this is different than this, I have to take both of them. So I have an x minus 5 and an x plus 5. So that's my common denominator. So how's that going to change my numerator? Since I already had an x minus 2 on the left side, my new factor that I'm adding to this is this x plus 5. Over here we have this 3, but now my new multiple that I had to multiply this side by is I had to multiply by this x minus 5. So now my denominator is going to be, doesn't change now, so x minus 5, x plus 5. But now what I do on top of my numerator is I want to multiply these out. I want to multiply this out, so take this 3 through and multiply again, and then collect like terms. So if I do that, the first one's going to be an x squared. I'm going to have a 5x, negative 2x, and then minus 10. And then over here, I'm distributing, it's a negative and my 3, so I'm distributing both the negative and 3 through, so I would write it as negative 3x, and then plus 15, because I'm going to distribute the negative with it. And my last step is now on top is can I collect like terms? So again, my x minus 5, my x plus 5, those don't change on my denominator, and I'm not going to multiply those out because they're already factored. But on top then I have an x squared. If I look at all my x's here, 5x's minus 2x's minus 3x's, that's actually 0 x's, right? So those go away. And if I look at my negative 10 and positive 15, I should end up with a positive 5. Can I factor that down on top? Nope. So this would be my final answer. So again, common denominators, again, changes my numerator on top. So as you see here, which we had to then multiply that out, multiply this out, collect like terms by adding and subtracting. And then we should always check to see if I can factor this out and see if it simplifies. In this case, there's nothing to factor out, so get there. 2 more questions. The last 2 days, so what we did Tuesday and what we did Wednesday of this year, I have these things called complex fractions. So can I simplify this down? Complex fractions. And again, my hints to you is treat this as 2 different problems. So as I do this question, treat the top as one problem. And the goal is to get this as one fraction, not 2 fractions, one fraction. And then same way on the bottom, treat this as a problem where I want to write this as one fraction. So on top, I'll stop. Let's pause the video, let them try this. So I want to see what they can do. They need to test their knowledge because tomorrow they'll be tested. Okay, assuming we've tested our knowledge now. On top, my common denominator between y and y squared is going to be y squared. So if I rewrote this, so I have y squared, this one doesn't change because it's already y squared, but this one I'd have to multiply by a y, so I got to multiply the 3 by a y, so I have 3y. So again, if I'm going to keep writing this out here, this would be as one fraction. This would be 3y minus 1 over y squared. That's my one fraction. On the bottom, my common denominator between 1 and y squared is going to be y squared. We're adding here. So if I rewrite this one, I need to multiply this guy by y squared, so I got to multiply the 7 by y squared, so I have 7y squared. And the other one stays that. So as one fraction, this is, add the top together, 7y squared plus 1 over y squared. Then ultimately, then my last step is, if I have a fraction divided by a fraction, again, I don't know how to do that. My math teacher never taught me that, but he did teach me that if I divide fractions, I can skip, flip, multiply. So if I take the top, 3y minus 1 over y squared, multiply by the reciprocal of the bottom, and then I ask myself, okay, does anything cancel out? Well, yeah, y squared and y squared, they cancel out. This is a different factor than this. I can't cancel anything out because that's different than what the other piece is. So my final answer would be, on top I have a 3y minus 1, a 7y squared plus 1. How do we do there? Is that good? I hope so. And last but not least, this is what yesterday was. A little glimpse back to how do we answer and solve this. I want to solve and find out what y actually equal. The way we let you look at this, see if you remember. The key here, though, again, is getting a common denominator throughout everything. So, assume we've all tried it. It's common denominator between y, 5, and y. My common denominator is going to be a 5y. So I would write out this whole problem, rewriting this so that it looks like such. How do I change then the numerators? So over here, I had to multiply by a 5, so I got to multiply 2 by 5, so I get 10. Here, I had to multiply by a y, so I got to multiply the top by y, so I get just y. Over here, I had to multiply by a 5, so I got to multiply the top by 5, so I get 15. Now, because these have a common denominator on this side, and I'm adding, this is going to turn out to be, do the math here, this is going to be 10 plus y over that common denominator 5y. On the other side, I have 15 over 5y. So now I can set these equal to each other. Now, the beautiful thing of doing it this way is, because my denominators are the same, if I wanted to solve, I could actually multiply this side by 5y, multiply this side by 5y. So if I multiply by my denominator, again, what happens to it? They go away. So what's left? It's just that. And now this, again, this we can do. How do I solve for y? Well, I subtract my 10, and y is going to be 5. And again, is that a legal answer? Can I plug 5 back into this? I could, right? It doesn't not give me 0 in the denominator. You could check this by plugging it in. There's a glimpse of all the pieces. So tomorrow I want us to be able to find domains. So what can I not have x be? I want us to be able to simplify, so factor and cross things out. Multiply, divide, again, which is all about factoring and crossing things out. Adding and subtracting fractions, which is getting a common denominator. Those are the messy ones. And then last but not least, simplifying those complex fractions or solving like we just did. It's going to be important. The rest of the period here, I want you to spend time working on the review the sub's going to give you. I will email you the solution. So if you want to check your work, you'll have the work with you, so I should have already emailed them to you. And if you have questions, come find me in the morning because I'll be around. So I know this is a tough chapter and this isn't easy. I feel like we've gotten better as we've gone through the chapter, which is good. Tomorrow, though, I want you to make sure you prepare now in a way so you won't be disappointed with how we do tomorrow. And so, again, thank you for your efforts and work. Good luck doing more together, help each other out. And we will see you mañana.